UFC 313 is going down this weekend. It's not a bad card at all, even though Dan Hooker pulled out. Let's just get straight into this shit. Starting with the first prelim of the night, they just added this fight. We got Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. I'm going Chris Gutierrez because just based off the striking. He's got more explosive striking. He's the more polished striker. I think John Castaneda's only chance is to get a takedown and hope to win a decision. Chris Gutierrez could get submitted, but he hasn't been submitted in a while, if at all. So, I'm going with the more dangerous striker, Chris Gutierrez. They literally just added this fight to the card last second. He's been waiting on an opponent. We finally got it. Here up, we got two up-and-comers, Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. I guess Bisping nicknamed him the Fire Marshal. But Marion Santos looks a little more impressive to me. He's only got one UFC fight. Francis Marshall's more experienced. They're both young. But I'm going Marion Santos. I seen his knockout in his UFC debut, and that was a pretty good knockout. He's got really good hands. In my opinion, he's got better hands than Francis Marshall, and he's a little bit quicker. I'm going to go with the faster fighter here. I think speed's going to kill in this fight. Now, this fight is going to be a banger, I think. I think Francis Marshall won't back down. I think he's going to stay in the pocket, and he's going to stay in the danger, and he's going to put up a good fight. But from what I've seen, Marion Santos, he's got really fast hands from what I've seen, and fast footwork. I think those little advantages are going to help in this banger fight right here. Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Alex Morono's been around for a while. He's got some okay fights. He's alright, but he's never stood out to me. Carlos Leal, his last fight stood out to me. He got robbed his last fight. I believe it was in Abu Dhabi in UFC 308. He definitely won his last fight. Don't get it mistaken. He's good at getting up from the takedowns. He's got a laser fast right hand, and he throws with intent. I think he's a little bit crazier than Alex Morono. I think he's a little bit smarter than Alex Morono. And it looks like he proves he wants it more to the judges more than Alex Morono. So I'm going Carlos Leal. He seems more dangerous. He's quicker. And he has a better fight IQ from what I've seen. And put that win on his resume. Switch that right now on his record, his last fight from Abu Dhabi. That wasn't a loss. Everyone in the crowd, every commentator, everyone knew he won. Don't rig the fights like that again. What do we got next here? Brunno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. We all know Armen Petrosyan got knocked out by Shar the Bullet. He got hit with the first ever double spinning back fist knockout. That sucks to get knocked out by that. He's fighting Brunno Ferreira. Armen Petrosyan might be more technical, but Brunno Ferreira, he should be more feared. He's got spinning techniques as well that could land on Armen Petrosyan. He's got a lot of power. I believe Brunno Ferreira knocked out RoboCop. It doesn't help to be Armen Petrosyan right now because he's got a very short reach. I think Armen Petrosyan having a short reach helps out Brunno Ferreira a lot. He can land spinning techniques. He can land from a distance. He's got so much power in those hands, so he's dangerous. I'm going Brunno Ferreira. Next, we got Joshua Van versus Rei Tsuruya. I don't know too much about Rei Tsuruya. I know he's undefeated right now. Pretty impressive. 10-0. But he's fighting Joshua Van, another really strong up-and-comer. I seen him just fight recently. He didn't fight too long ago. He looked very good striking. Power in his hands, good takedown defense. He's a finisher. He wanted to go for the finish last time, couldn't get it. He said he's going to be more aggressive. He's going to push the pace more this fight. And I believe him. From what I've seen, he's someone you should keep your eye on. Joshua Van, I got him winning this one. All right. The featured prelim. We got Curtis Blaydes fighting someone on their UFC debut, Rizvan Kuniev from Russia. Look, the heavyweight division is not talent stacked. I know Curtis Blaydes, he's been knocked out a few times, but it is heavyweight. And his last fight was against the best heavyweight right now, Tom Aspinall. He landed some shots before he got knocked out. I don't think Curtis Blaydes is going to get taken down anytime soon. I want to see him use his wrestling a little more in this fight. I want to see him let his hands go a little bit more in this fight. From what I've seen by Rizvan Kuniev, a little bit sloppier than Curtis Blaydes. So I got to go with the guy with more experience in this fight, Curtis Blaydes. Just because you're a new heavyweight. In heavyweight, I feel like you got to prove yourself, you know? Curtis Blaydes has done that. He really has. He's fought nothing but killers. He loses a lot of them, but he's won some. He earned himself a shot at the Tom Aspinall fight for the title. So I'm going to go with Curtis Blaydes. All right, now we're on to the main card. First fight, Bobby Green, or some people call him by his new name now, King Green, fighting Mauricio Ruffy. This should be an awesome fight. I'm looking forward to this right here. We got Mauricio Ruffy from the Fighting Nerds fighting Bobby Green. He needs no introduction. We know him. Hands low, crazy good head movement. He likes to be slick. He likes to be fast. Mauricio Ruffy, though, he's trying to be like Conor McGregor out there. He's trying a little too much to be flashy. He needs to stick to the basics a little more, but who am I to say? Mauricio Ruffy hasn't proven himself like Bobby Green. But Bobby Green's last fight against Patty, I can't even watch it. I can't even watch it. Why did he shoot a takedown? And before the takedown, I didn't see him land anything significant against Patty. Sure, Bobby Green was outsized. Look, Bobby Green is good. But when you look at his last fight against Patty, when you look at the fight before that against Jim Miller, good fight. I don't blame him for not being able to finish Jim Miller, but Jim Miller was 40, you know? If Jim Miller could survive Bobby Green, I'm going to say Mauricio Ruffy could survive Bobby Green. There's a chance he can get clipped. There's a chance Bobby Green's going to get knocked out. This fight, I'm picking a knockout. But I'm going Mauricio Ruffy. Even though he's less established, he's way younger than Bobby Green. And I don't like Bobby Green's last two fights, to be honest. Big fan of Bobby Green, or King Green, but I'm going Mauricio Ruffy based on him improving, and I see Bobby Green on the decline. Next fight's a piss break. Then the fight after that, we got Jalin Turner versus, Ignacio Bahamondes. Oh my gosh. I forgot how they say his name. Bahamondes? Bahamondes. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Jalin Turner. These have to be the two tallest guys at lightweight. They gotta be. They tower over everybody. Jalin Turner is super dangerous. You would have thought he'd be higher in the rankings at lightweight by now. But look at his last few fights. He keeps dropping the ball. He blew it against Moicano. He dropped him, walked away, acted like the fight was over. No, it wasn't. Before that, I think he lost to Dan Hooker in a war, but he didn't look good on the ground. He made some bad mistakes. It looks like after he lands a clean shot, if you survive it, it looks like the fight is over from there. When Jalin Turner fought Bobby Green didn't survive it. Jalin Turner looked like a killer. But if you survive that bomb, if you survive that head kick, if you survive that straight left from Jalin Turner, and you keep fighting, Moicano and Dan Hooker proved that he can be beat. And he's been knocked out plenty. Bahamondes, what's his fucking last name? Bahamondes. He's just as tall, and I seen his last few fights. He's got a dangerous piston right hand. He knows how to pull back and unload the right hand. Very similar style to Jalin Turner. Well, maybe just because he's tall. He's got nice power. He's pretty fast with that right hand. I'm going Bahamondes. I'm picking the guy who I can't even pronounce his name. Jalin Turner is dangerous. He has moments. But it's all about what happens at the end of the fight. And I'm going Bahamondes. Wow, we're already at the co-main event. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Damn, Dan Hooker. Anyway, we're getting the rematch. But what's happened since their fight? what happened since Justin Gaethje fought Fiziev? Well, Justin Gaethje fought Dustin Poirier, knocked him out. Pretty impressive. Then Justin Gaethje, he fought Max Holloway. We all know the viral knockout, one of the best knockouts of all time by Max Holloway. But to be fair, Gaethje got eye poked, and to be fair, he had a broken nose the whole fight. I think people are overreacting to him getting knocked out by Max. I guess a lot of people think that's really going to affect him in this fight. Gaethje did say he took 6 months off, though. He knows how to recover. Rafael Fiziev, what's happened to him since he fought Gaethje? He fought the wrestler Mateus Gamrot. The first round was pretty even. Second round, Rafael Fiziev throws a roundhouse kick. It lands on Gamrot's elbow, and he fucks up his knee, Gamrot. He's been out for injury for a while, since 2023, I believe. I believe he was training in that time. But after fighting Gaethje that first time, he knows how hard Gaethje hits. He's got to be worried about it. He got taken down by Gaethje. He's got more to think about. Even though Rafael Fiziev is the cleaner, more technical striker, I got to go with Gaethje. And I feel like everyone would go with Gaethje if it wasn't for that Max Holloway fight. Just based off, it's short notice for Rafael Fiziev. His last 2 fights didn't go his way. Gaethje hits so hard. Gaethje's taken down Fiziev before. I believe that's the only fighter Gaethje's taken down. Believe it or not. I gotta go with Justin to highlight Gaethje. Because I haven't seen enough from Fiziev to prove that he can beat Gaethje right now. I'm not gonna bank on Gaethje having a weak chin from Max Holloway. I'm not. I've seen Gaethje get dropped by Charles Oliveira and smoked in that fight. And then the very next fight, he came back and beat Rafael Fiziev. And I think he's going to do that again this time. He got knocked out by Holloway. I think he's going to come back and beat Fiziev. Now, to the main event, finally. This is what's making this card right here. If this wasn't the main event, we just had some average main event, this card would look horrible. So, thank you to Pereira for being a star. What the? Pereira versus Magomed. Look, Magomed, he's got good striking. He doesn't get hit much. He doesn't get hit clean. We all know that. Good for him. He's from Dagestan. I think he knows how to wrestle. I'd put my money on it that he's the better wrestler than Pereira. But is he going to wrestle Pereira? I think he will. I think if Magomed feels uncomfortable with the striking, he's going to clinch him against the cage. We've seen Pereira get clinched against the cage against Jan. Jan took him down plenty. Pereira did survive it. But I think Magomed does have better submission skills than Jan. I haven't seen Jan tap anybody out. And Jan did take Pereira's back. That is concerning. But I also saw Magomed Ankalaev fight Jan. And I have to say Pereira did much better against Jan than Magomed. Pereira beat Yuri twice by knockout. He beat Jamal Hill by knockout. He just beat Khalil Roundtree. Now, the first 2 rounds of the Khalil Roundtree fight, Khalil won those rounds. And then Pereira turned it on. Very interesting. Pereira kept going too high with the head kick. But Magomed's taller than Khalil Roundtree. I think the head kick can be a good weapon here. I'm confident in picking Pereira. I gotta pick Pereira here. He's more dangerous, and after what I seen Magomed Ankalaev do to Raychik, which wasn't much, he didn't take down Raychik. He didn't do too much damage to Raychik. And I could see Pereira fighting like Raychik did, but how Pereira fights, with more power, with more ferocity. Pereira's distance management, his timing, when he gets in the flow state. And after what I seen Magomed not do to Raychik, I'm going Alex Pereira. Not just because he's the popular UFC star. I'm going because he's got dynamite here. He's got dynamite there. He's stone cold. He's fighting Magomed during Ramadan. I like this fight at this time too because he didn't just jump straight into fighting Magomed. He's had a lot of time to work on his grappling and all those other things. So yeah, I got Alex Pereira winning. I hope this is a great card. This is on my birthday. It's gonna be a great card. UFC 313. It's gonna be better than it is on paper. That's for sure. Let's see a bunch of finishes this whole night. Those are my picks. Let me know what your picks are down below. Like and subscribe. Later.